So I'll start with XRP, and again here's the consolidation phase that we're going through. And as I was saying there, I was looking at a potential short here yesterday. It didn't hold, and I was looking at this as a level that seemed to hold, and I put a 702, potential 702 entry. There we go, potential 702 at 35.55, stop loss at 35.99, and it didn't hold. Price action decided to head on up, and on the 1 hour is it. I'll show you now. On the 1 hour, it back tested to the 50. So back tested to the 50 MA on the 1 hour and the 200. There we go. The 200 on the 15 minutes. Yeah. So now let's have a look at where we are. Yeah. Is what happened last night, the turn of the day. So the 5-day turned. There's not much going on other than it's just taking its time. Yeah. So things that happened is the 5-day turned last night. Now this is the only daily that didn't turn at the start of the week. So we were sort of waiting on this 5-day to turn, and the VWAP is down, and then the five that was sitting at the 200 MA clearly broke through at the 5 MA here. So very strong push down from the 5 MA on the 5-day. Yeah. And then the daily turned. So now this was very interesting because you can see yesterday's candle turned into a green rejection candle. Yeah. And right at the start of the day, the VWAP took a sharp turn up. However, is the 5 came down quite strongly, crossing through the 10 MA balloon. Yeah. And then here's the Bollinger Band as well. So it was quite a crossing for the 5 here. So it looked like it was going to put pressure down, even though the VWAP turned up. I was also looking at Bitcoin. It's gone. Geez, Bitcoin looks super spilly, and I was just thinking that it looks like this 5 or this VWAP on the day might actually go down. So it's good that the VWAP is down on the day, because if it had stayed up again, it looks like we'd be heading back up. Yeah. So we're not at the moment. So that was good. The 12 hour is now you can see the VWAP on the hourlies was up. So it's been systematically turning down as we go along. So the last one to turn, I believe, is the 9 hour. So you can see there was quite at the peak there was quite a long candle down, and then you can see the VWAP in the 9 hours turned down, and each hour as it turns has been turning down and applying a bit more pressure. Yeah. So it seems like again we're waiting till the turn of the day. So here's the 10, and we look for the VWAP to turn. Here's the 12 hour. So potentially is we get a greater push down when the 12 hour turns. Yeah. And we look to see if we can get more action gone down. Yeah. So it's a funny one because Bitcoin did a lower low. It broke its low from last week, and again it looks as spilly as hell. So Bitcoin is where I thought XRP would be now. So basically what I'm trying to say is that I thought XRP would make a better move yesterday, or a deeper move yesterday, and head on down towards 31, 32, and start to get close to breaking the low of this consolidation here. Yeah. Excuse me, and it hasn't happened yet, but Bitcoin did. Bitcoin broke its consolidation low and came down even further and broke its lower low. So you can see XRP, I was thinking, is going to come down and start to challenge this. potentially is we start to come down and challenge this pretty soon. Bitcoin did it, but XRP hasn't done it yet. So we'll see what happens today. Yeah, you can see the spill formation that the daily is in, and the 5-day I think was the one that was holding things back. So now we're looking at what's going to happen as we go along. So let's zoom into the 4-hour at the moment. Yeah. So again, you can see it topped out is 2 strong red candles down. As you can see, there's a bit of a push down, and this one is the 5. The 5 is cresting here, looking to turn, and here's the VWAP here. Yeah. So we just gotta be a bit patient and see where it wants to go as we go along. Yeah. So one of the things I'm mindful of is this could be 3 steps down. This is a double top first drop, and this might actually want to come back up here before it comes down. Not that I particularly want to see that, but it may happen. If it did happen, you'd be looking at a lift back up to 38 to 38.50 or so. Yeah, and again another test of this. Let me see what this one is a moment later. What's 1,000 MA on the 4-hour? Yeah, but we'll see. We'll see. I don't think it will, but you just got to be a bit mindful of it. Yeah. So if you look at this lift here, so this is the lift, and again is a lower high here. So we're looking at this correction. So if I put the fibs on from the top to the bottom, just to do it nice and simple, you can see it's after coming down and hitting the golden pocket, the 0.065. Yeah. So now, if I was looking for a shallow reversal that was going to head on up, I'd be looking at it to land around here, possibly even touch the 0.5. Is very seldom does it hit the 618 and want to go up from there. Yeah, especially with so much coming down on top of it. So it looks like again it hit the golden pocket, back up, touched off the 382, and again we're slowly finding our way down, coming down to the 786, coming down to this support line here at 33 or so. Yeah, I do believe it's going to go further than that, but just with regards to this local movement here is I think it's just finding its way down. Yeah. But then equally is all the daily MAs are in spill mode. So I reckon that once it starts to get down around here, we could be just looking for continuation. Yeah, I think this could spill in any. I think I'll say it this way. I think Bitcoin could go at any moment, and if Bitcoin goes, I know there's a few institutions that might be doing a bit of a sell-off. So if Bitcoin goes, it'll pull the rest of the market down. Yeah. And then also as well, Mihaela, what's that thing? What's that meeting tomorrow with the? Is it the FOMC?
It's an FOMC meeting, yes, and then there are some flash services behind. There's the FOMC at 7 p.m. UK time.
Yeah, so the FOMC tomorrow.
So that's when the minutes come out.
Okay, so I know they said that they were going to do. I think 4.25 for the end of the year. That leaves 50 basis points drop. But if they do more than that, I think that'll tank the market. If they do 50, I think is what people are expecting. If they do more than 50, that's not what people are expecting, and that could tank the market. Yeah. Or equally, if they don't do that, it'll give it a pump. But I don't think it's in a situation to do less than 50. So maybe it might take that move to tomorrow to trigger things. Yeah. But I reckon really the thing that we're waiting on is there's a couple of institutions that are in trouble and they've gone quiet. And Genesis, I know Genesis were looking to raise $1 billion, needed to do it by the end of business on Monday. It doesn't seem like they've got it, because if they did, you would have heard about it by now, yeah. So well, that means there might be a bit of a sell-off of Bitcoin. So we'll see what happens, yeah. So now, what else do I need to point out? Oh yes, the stocks. So I was talking yesterday how the 2 hour was low, down here, sorry, the 2 hour was low, the 3 hour was low, and the 4 hour was low. And I'd reckon that they weren't going to come up too high. Maybe the 2 hour, but I'm really surprised at how fast the stocks are coming up, especially like look at the 2 hour and the 2 hour and the 3 hour. Price action hasn't moved a huge amount, but yet these guys are getting up. Same with the 4 hour. These guys are coming up, and there's not a huge amount of price action. And the more they come up, again, they're setting up for another down. That's what it seems like. Yeah. I am mindful. Remember, I mentioned that it might want to. It might want to. If this is doing a 3 steps, and this double top first drop, it might want to come up and have another touch at the 702 or the 786, 38 to 38.50. Yeah, that would fit in. That would actually fit in with if you look at the arc from here to here, that would actually fit in with another touch to here. So I'm not expecting it, but I know it's possible. Yeah. There's a lot of pressure coming down, so that's why I'm not expecting. I know the possibility is there, but now if I put it on, if I put the same fibs on here, and then I'll show you what it would need to get through. There we go. There it is. There, yeah. So there's the same fibs on, yeah. Now when I go through the timelines, so for it to get back up to a 702 or a 786, 38, 38.54, is if we look at the weekly, for it to get back up there, there's the 20 on the weekly. So the weekly is not going to potentially challenge it too much, other than that the VWAP is here, yeah. So it'd be quite a push up. If I go on the 6 day, so on the 6 day you can see the 5 MA coming down. Again, you see it close to the 786. So yeah, that might be reasonable. Here's the 5 day. Again, there's the 5 MA, close to the 786. Just as basically, I'm looking for points of resistance that would discourage price action from going up that high. Yeah. So on the 4 day, as you can see, the 5 MA is here at 37.20. So it's got to break through that, and you can see the 50 here has been resistance. And again, here it is up around the 786. So that's all. It's all possible. But if I keep going, there's the 3 day. Again, you can see the 5. The 2 day. There's the 5 there. And then the 1 day, I think this one will be a harder one for me to imagine, is that you can see it's a proper turn down on the 5 on the daily. Equally, the VWAP has gone down. 10's gone a little bit sideways. Here's the Bollinger, or the medial line, Bollinger Band midline. So for it to get past this, to get up here or here, seems like a little bit of a stretch, yeah. But even if it did, you look at what's coming down on top of it, yeah. So now I'll zoom in a little more. Here's the 12 hour. And again, when you look at it, the spill is the only thing that's been challenged on the 12-hour at the moment is the 5. So look, you have the 20s that have to get past the 20s and the 10s to get up here. So again, it's not so easy to do. If I look on the 6-hour, again, when you look at the pattern, is you can see here's the 5 coming down, here's the VWAP after turning down, here's the 10 coming down strong, you can see it's been resistance, here's the 20s coming down. Interestingly, the 50 is going off. 50 is going off, turning up a little bit, yeah. So that would make me a little cautious when you start to see an MA start to float off like that. Because generally, if it floats off like that too much, it sort of indicates that it's heading on up to catch something, yeah. Normally price action if it goes up, but again, it's not too obvious now. But I'm just it's something I'd notice, yeah. On the 4-hour, if you look at this spill here, is the 20 EMA, the white line here, rejected crossing the 55 and spilled. So here's the spill, here's the rejection here again, and again it's continuing down. If you look at the way the pattern is moving, the 10 is continuing down here, the blue, the 5, the orange one, again looks like it's cresting with the VWAP to turn. So it looks more likely that it's going to spill head down than actually turn up, yeah. Now here's the hour, and again the hour got a strong rejection off the 50 here, yeah. So when you think about this as a spill, is you can see up here it headed down, came back up, hit off the 20 here, hit off the 50, and again here we are on the hour, bounced back up to the 55, the blue one, EMA, and the 50 MA. And again, it got rejected and was a strong rejection from it, yeah. So it will do its dance here. It may turn down and head down. Maybe it will take a couple of more hours, and it'll need the 50 to come down again and give it another little touch before it heads down, yeah. But it's 2 hours to the turn, the 12 noon turn. So maybe not. We'll see. So the 10 hours after turning there. So let's see. So is it going back up there? I don't think so. I don't think so. But I'm just mindful of the play of it, yeah. So the 10 hour has just turned, and again, I've noticed that there's the VWAP going sideways at the moment, and each 5 seems to be able to continue heading down. As much as it's not continuing down very far, it's still heading down rather than turning up at the moment, yeah. And then equally is look at how strong the 10 is coming down, and the 20 EMA and MA, yeah. As much as look at the 50 coming down here as well. So you start to see the 50 come down like this on any timeline, it's a strong indication, yeah. So yeah, so I just think it's going to need the 12 o'clock to turn. So the next turn is we get the 12 turning, and that can be the tipping point for the day, and it can set off a greater spill, yeah. If it takes longer, then I'd look to the last quarter of the day. So the 18 hour I'd be looking for the 18 hour. Potentially it leaves it till the last quarter of the day to do its thing. But we'll see. We'll see what happens, yeah. Okay, so that's me for now. I haven't given a trade opportunity. Is a natural one would have been up here. A natural one would have been up here. Let's just have a quick look. If we do this, just to, and this I went down onto the 15-minute. So hit a bottom here. Let's see if it gave us a 702. Oh, very nicely would have given us a 702. But you can see when things move fast like this. Look, it topped out. 1, 2, 3, 4. You have an hour. You got to be awake for that hour to catch that. So that would have been a sweet short. to catch it up there, yeah. Okay, so now look, it's after dropping down. I did a little retrace here and drop down again. So here it is dropping down again, and again another little retrace up. The question I'm having here is that is it going to drop down or will it want to go up a little bit more? Yeah. So if it's going to head down, then I would do a range from here. I do a range from here, and the potential entry is pretty much where it is now. It's just after dropping it. I'll stick a 35.64 and just pull. Now, because the 50 MA is here, is normally I go a tenth of percent above that, yeah. At 35.75, 35.85, 35.85. Seems like a lot. This is 35.75. Sure, I'm on the 15 minutes, so I'm zoomed in. Okay, so now this is the challenge with this is it's questionable whether this is going to top out now and head down. If I put it back on the 1 hour, let's have a look. Yeah, let me go into the MAs here. Yeah, you can see, let me go to the 1 hour. So again, you had a 15-minute entry up here. There would have been a potential entry point here, and now we have another drop down, and let me put it fibble like this here. Is it up here? No, it wasn't. I think it was here. Yeah, it was here. Yeah. So that's what I put it on the 15 minutes. Yeah. Yeah. When I look at it on the hour, I wouldn't take that trade because you can see the hour that just turned. The 5 took a turn up there. Yeah. So now you can see there's a bit of a battle going on with the 5 turning up here. Here's the 10 coming down. Here's the 5 turning up. Here's the 20 coming around. Here's the VWAP and the 20 EMA, the white one. So a bit of a battle going on. I'd be waiting to see. I'd want to see that. I want to see that 5 turn again. Yeah. Now you can see with regards to the 10 hour. So there's the VWAP on the 10 hour. There's the 5 pressing down. So the 10 wants to go down. Here's the 8 wants to go down. Here's the 4 looking like it wants to go down and crest. Here's the 2. The 2 turned there as well, actually. The 2 turned there as well. So you can see that 20 is pushing through. And on the 2 hour, again, you can see the 5. You can see that the 5 is coming down, and look, the 5's have taken a sharp turn up here, but look, here's the 10 looking to crest. So it's in that phase where you have look, the orange one, here's the 5 coming up, and look, it's coming down. At the same time, the 10 comes up. So while the 10 is getting itself around, the 5 gets exhausted. The 5 can't keep pushing down on its own, so it takes a sharp turn up. But at the same time, the 20 is pushing down strongly here. So what I reckon is going to happen, but there's a bit of argy-bargy. It might go up, but I don't think it will. But if it doesn't, is what we're looking for is the 10 to find its way around here, the 5 to turn around, and that you have the spill of the 5, 10, and the 20 together. Now that will be a very nice spill. But you can see it's in that phase where it's up and down. So I don't really have a trade for right now because I want to see how this is going to play out before I would set a trade. Potentially, if I put it in a range like this, potentially from here, dropping down to here, and again you can see it's working back up. Potentially, there is potentially 35.79, and again I'd be putting the stop loss just above here, 36.08. So let's say 36.20, yeah. But again, I wouldn't be rushing. I wouldn't be rushing to put that trade in at all. So you can see on the hour. Remember what I said before is that got a rejection at the 50 here, and look how strongly the 50 is coming down here. So this level here, look, you see the 50 is right on it. So look at this guy move. So a bit of a battle going on at the moment, and we'll see. Yeah, the hours after just turning, we'll see. We gotta watch this a bit more, yeah, and see what happens. That's really the truth of it. So I'm putting this in because it's good. It's good to test. I'm not going to take this trade because I'm already in. I'm already in a short, but it's good to keep mapping it out and testing it and looking for opportunities for entries. Look at this guy moving out. Okay, so let's see. Let's see now. If I'm looking at this right now. If I'm watching this on my own, I'd be looking at the 5 minute now. And the reason I'd be looking at the 5 minute and I'd be looking for, is this a blow off top? So on the 5 minute, as you can see this lift here. And I'm looking for, is this indicating, is it a blow off top? Yeah, potentially it looks like it is a blow off top on the 5 minute. Here, bottom second on the left is the RSI is topping out here, and then the stock RSI is again heading back to the top. Is the MACD, but I don't really pay attention to the MACD on the 5 minute. I generally look on the later time frames. So that's one thing I'll be looking for is are these blowing off, yeah, and the RSI and the stock, and also just where price action is hitting here, yeah. So now if I look on the 15 minute, and again look at the 15 minute, potentially again this is a blow off top. Same thing on the 15 minute. Look at the rejection of the 200. Is potentially you might want to test the 200 again. But on the 15 minute that does look like a blow off top as well, yeah. So what would I be watching? What would I be watching for? If I feel that this entry was a bit too risky, if it's a bit too volatile, yeah, is if this is a blow off top, well then what I should be giving after that, if it is if this is the blow off top, it should start to give another reversal pattern heading down, yeah. So I'd be looking for this to blow off, start to look for a reversal pattern here. So once excuse me, once it gives that, and I see a drop, it bottoms to a point and it starts to head back up, then I have my range and I get a much tighter 702 with a stop loss here. So now my range is tighter and my risk is less. So that's what I'd be watching for, yeah. So I'd be watching for where this top is, looking for it to do a drop and a lift again, and do like the 1-2 on the way down essentially, and then look for the 702. So that's if you're looking for a short entry, pay attention to where this tops out, say on the 15 minute, and then when you start to see the reversal, you can set your range. Yeah, but that's me. That's me for now. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll chat to you later.
Now, good morning, guys. Let's see where we are today. What's happened with the S&P yesterday? Now, I believe that I think I told you yesterday that the whole lift across this divergence line is a little bit of a trap, and the S&P stochastic on the daily is turning down. Yesterday, we closed on this divergence line. There's a lot of pressure put on this divergence line, and generally when there is such pressure put on any sort of support, resistance, divergence, center line, it breaks. And I'm waiting for this to happen. And once this happens, that will push down the crypto as well. Of course, we're waiting for other news in terms of the FTX contagion and other fundamentals, but we still can't forget about the bigger picture and the fact that the S&P, the DXY, and crypto, they do have a relationship together. So it will, if something happens in the S&P, it will reflect in crypto. Crypto is the smallest one, so of course if something happens in crypto, it doesn't necessarily reflect in the S&P. But the other way around, most often than not, it does. Let's have a look at the DXY. I think the market is being, the main idea for today and the first part of the day tomorrow, there are two pieces of news coming out tomorrow that are red flag. There's some sort of PMI index. I'll put the calendar up on the Discord at the start of New York, and then there's the FOMC meeting minutes at 7 p.m. UK time, so 9 o'clock our time, 7 p.m. UK time. So I think the market is going to trend sideways more or less today, and then it will move tomorrow. It's waiting for the news tomorrow. And by the market, it's not just crypto. I think it's going to be the S&P as well. The DXY is on its way up on the daily. We still don't have the stochastic in the normal range box. I told you, I think it's good to see it there. Momentum is a little bit stronger once it gets into that range. The 4 hour is pushing down, and I believe that the 4 hour will be looking for support somewhere along this midline of the Bollinger, because this is what it uses to bounce off. So I don't think we're going to stop until we reach this midline, which means a little bit more downwards for the DXY, which means a little bit more upwards for crypto. Bitcoin and Ethereum have been excellent coins. TA-wise, they broke their support, continued downwards, no problem. It's not, XRP is a little bit more of a like a wild horse at the moment, doing its own thing, holding supports and holding up at a higher level. But Bitcoin and Ethereum are doing what they should be doing. So with the DXY coming down to find support on the 4 hour 20 MA here on the midline of the Bollinger, we might see a little bit of a, not necessarily a lift, but a breather, a recovery lift. I won't show you again the daily levels for Ethereum and Bitcoin, because here we are on those daily supports. Here's Ethereum on the 1060. And here's Bitcoin on the 15,700 level. You can see the orange line here and the pink line for Ethereum. They're both holding those daily support levels at the moment. Now on the daily, I'm gonna make reference a little bit more to the daily levels, because here is where we are. I'm gonna switch to the 15 minutes. We seem to be printing a lot of bullish divergences here, which means that momentum might be picking up for a very slight recovery. So the reason why I'm mentioning that is because, for instance, if you don't have a great entry point into this into an Ethereum or a Bitcoin trade, today/tomorrow might give you a better entry point. So you might want to watch for this, because this might do a lift up. So from M2 we could lift up to M3 and backtest this 200 EMA on the 15-minute at 11:27. So this might be one of those lines that will be backtested. Not might be, it generally is, but when momentum to the downside starts fading, and it's not pushing down with as much strength as it used to, it might want to look for that as a point of correction. So we've done all this drop down, which was quite steep for Ethereum, and I believe that the 55 EMA here or the 200 EMA on the 15-minute will be tested, which is the M3 on the day. If it breaks the M3, it might go up to M4 at 11:60. So again, what I see today is the possibility of a lift, a recovery lift, but not necessarily a strong one. It might be, again, ranging on that line. Here are the levels that we set on Monday, yesterday. Here we are on the target that we set here. I'll take this as reached. I know it's a matter of dollars. I said 1067 and it came down to 1070. I'll take that as reached. So what might happen here is for us to be trending a little bit sideways, maybe go up and test the 55 on the 1 hour and then come down. What I'm trying to tell you is, if you don't have a great position for a short, and you might want to look for a better entry on this retest, because if the market's going to drop another level, there will be a recovery lift, and that recovery lift is a liquidity collection lift. So all of these trades that went in here, shorting, depending on their leverage, they will be liquidated. 10x trades are not so easy to be liquidated because they require a 10% move. But for instance, Bitcoin yesterday did a 2-point. I just find this fascinating because it's how the market is being controlled. And I wish I had an algorithm brain at times and just understand it as it happens. So Bitcoin yesterday, in the space of 3 hours, did a 3.2 move. So that move was designed to liquidate 50 XRs, 100 XRs. So that traders who would put, and by traders I don't mean only retail traders, institutions or whatever, that would put a trade like that for short, they won't have the chance to catch a big move down. Again, if you were a platform supporting trading, imagine paying off somebody who ends such a trade. So you don't want them to win. So that's what we are in this strong bounce back territory, this high volatility space, which is the breakout space, and it's perfectly normal what's going on here. If you look at the TA, it's exactly what we were talking about 2 weeks ago. Backtest to the 20, drop down, backtest to the 20, drop down, backtest to the 20, drop down. Now we've had 3 backtests already since this 20 was broken here. So that's why right now I believe that it might actually go up and backtest the 55. If we were in normal price action moves territory and we wouldn't have the bankruptcy of FTX and then which is Genesis and Grayscale and all the other scandal and all that terrible fundamentals, those terrible fundamentals going against reversals, I would say, okay, we've tested it 3 times, now we're gonna look for a reversal to the upside. I don't believe that reversal to the upside will be too strong, but from where we are right now, if we are to test the 55 on the 1 hour, for instance, for Ethereum, it would be a 4.5, maybe 5% lift. So this lift would be essential for again, collecting liquidation, and it would be great to catch it on the way down. The trend will not change, but in this trend we might have higher lifts collecting liquidation. That's why right now I choose to hold my positions rather than go in and out. But if I didn't have a good position in my XRP and Bitcoin trades, I would be looking for a position at the back test of the 55 on the 1 hour. Not the 20, because the 20 has been tested 3 times already. It's going to go for something higher. If I am going to look at the 4 hour, the 4 hour is harder to, but I will, do you know what? This would be yes, this would be the stage where I would be looking at, because it's back tested. It's a little bit odd the way the anatomy of the MAs is. So here it broke it here, back tested once, twice. How many back tests are here? I would take this as a one back test. So the second one, 1, 2, because it's the same sort of like sideways. I can't take it as 5 or 6 back tests. It just strings along the 20. So another back test to the 20 on the 1 hour from this, on the 4 hour, sorry, from this swing, or the 55 on the 1 hour. So that would be what I would be looking for a short position entry. Okay, now let me put this all in a nutshell and clarify it. The trend is down. The trend will continue down. We don't have any reason to believe the trend won't continue down. I would be looking for a position on the back test of the 55 on the 1 hour or the 20 EMA on the 4 hour. These would be the EMAs that I am watching constantly for retracements. If you are watching the 50 or the 20 MAs, that's okay. They're literally in and around the same level with a couple of dollars variation. It's not, whatever you do, stay constant to your system. These are the 2 EMAs that I watch, and that's what I would be looking for to get a better entry if your entry is not great. Same thing for Bitcoin. The only difference is that Bitcoin broke the previous low. Yes, it did it. There it is. Here it is. By literally, I believe, a fraction. So where is the... here we are. If I go to this candle, the low is 15,437. If I go to this candle, the low is 15,450. So $13. So here it is. It looks like a pixel, but it's actually $13. So here's where Bitcoin is. It's back tested the 20 once, twice, 3 times, just like Ethereum. Could we see a back test to this line? Yes, we could. I was telling you yesterday that I am not particularly happy with how this yellow line was back tested. I like to see clearer back tests. There were 2 lines. In fairness, there were 2 support and resistance line here. I'm gonna adjust it. There we go. So here they are, just to be more precise. This is what I want to see for this line. We could argue that this was it. Maybe that was it. Because that also coincided with the 20. Okay, I can take that. But after 3 back tests of the 20, in order to continue the downtrend, I think we need again another retracement, maybe to the 55. That would be the one that needs to be. Let me show you, to be back tested for another push down. And what I mean by that is, look at the previous downswing. Here's where it broke the 20. It back tested here, and we have and back tested here. So 3 back tests, drop down. After those back tests, we didn't have a reversal. We went back to back test the 55. That's the next level. And if I am to swap over to the 4 hour, again, the 4 hour had that interesting, the same thing as ETH. So I believe that here's where it backtested the 20 on the 4 hour. So it broke it here, backtested here, dropped down. So that was the second backtest. I think it will come down and backtest the 20 on the 4 hour. It will go up, sorry, and backtest the 20 on the 4 hour at 16,200. The 55 on the 4 hour at 16,700 might be a bit much, but it is the divergence line. It likes going to the divergence line. So we could see a lift up to here, and a lift up to here would be, let me check the percentages, again would be a 6% move. So if you don't want to be in the red for all that move, you could again wait for the move. I wouldn't be longing that, to be honest. I would just be watching it. Again, it's a good trade, but I choose to go with the trend now and trade only down, because that's where the bigger percentages are, and there's no point watching. How can I say? It's good to take a break between trades where we are right now. Breakouts are quite intense in terms of the volatility and the moves. So I would be watching for a backtest. I would be putting in maybe a limit order, or watching it and then put a 702 entry, whatever your strategy is, and then following it down. I don't believe it's going to go anywhere higher than the 55 on the 4 hour anytime soon, unless something magical comes and saves crypto and it all starts pumping. But it sounds like a fantasy scenario at the moment. It's not. There's no such thing happening at the moment. There are, I think, billions of dollars missing, and fraud and all sorts of hacking and horrible things. So that's where we are. Again, that will play out to be in favor of crypto, I believe. It's going to bring in regulation, and it will make this space a profitable investment, profitable and secure investment, which is what we want. Anyways, looking at Bitcoin on the daily chart, here we are on this line. I think we need to put a little bit more pressure on this line. We might need to, if you look at the 4 hour, the previous swings on the 4 hour comes back to the 55 down, back to the 55 down. Again, this was a horrible swing. I don't think we'll have this long drawn out process. I think the news tomorrow will finish this move, if that makes sense. I think that the news tomorrow will bring us not necessarily bring us that third leg down, but it will finish the move in terms of, I take that back with the finish the move, but I finish the consolidation more than the move, because we need a 30% drop to get to the next level for Bitcoin, the next level at 10K. And if we are only to move to the next target, 12%. So yes, tomorrow we might get our 12% drop. That's perfect for a day move. That's great. But we might be going sideways until tomorrow, until that FOMC news comes out. I sorry about the waffling, guys. That's what happens when there's not too much happening. So here we are today on the Bitcoin levels. We're holding the M2, but we're holding below the daily open and below the pivot point. So here the rules are very simple. If you're looking at if you're looking at the trader's reality indicator and levels, I use them every day. There are two possibilities. It goes up and backtests the daily level, and then it might reach out for the pivot point. If it consolidates above them, which means at least two 15-minute candles closing above them. For instance, here, 15-minute candle rejected. First one closed up above. And then we had red. I wouldn't go in on this one. Red. Again, it's part of the sideways, but this shows rejection. So this is just going up to the 50 EMA. So it might go up to the daily open and the pivot point backtest and then drop to the M1. If it consolidates above the daily open and above the pivot point, we might see the M3 and the 200 EMA on the 15-minute be tested. This is what XRP did last night, and I believe Bitcoin might be doing it and Ethereum might be doing it today as well. So if you're not happy with your entries, that might be a time to either DCA or start a short position, depending on where you are. Yeah, so long story short, we might be seeing a recovery to the 1 hour 55 EMA or the 4 hour 20 EMA, because it's been putting a lot of pressure on the previous MA. So the 20 EMA has been back tested 3 times by Bitcoin, both Bitcoin and Ethereum on the 1 hour. So we might see a back test of the 55 EMA on the 1 hour. That would be the simple point that I would be watching for today. Again, if your liquidation can handle that test, it is a 4% move for Ethereum and almost a 6% move for Bitcoin. If your liquidation can handle that test, I would be waiting it out. I wouldn't be jumping in and out of trades now because it's very volatile. So I would let this trade play out, which is what I'm doing with my Bitcoin and XRP positions. But if you feel that your position is not good enough, if you think that your position is not good enough, you might want to close it and look for a higher entry, because I believe that will be given to you today/tomorrow. The market might push up before it pushes down another leg down. Again, I don't believe Bitcoin will stop until it reaches the 13K. 13K, let me be a little bit more precise. So my daily target would be 13K 750. The next level down for me would be 13K 400. So I don't think we'll stop until we get to that level. But in the meantime, we could be bouncing up and down, and those variations could be quite high. So if you don't want to be in the red, you might want to wait for a back test. That's it from me. I hope that helped. I'm going to be posting these retracement levels on the chats. And if you guys have any questions, let me know. Have a great day.